Hello, we're live. 30ish started a live video.
Yep. Thank God.
Alert the media.
Alert everybody.
We're live.
Alert.
I alert the media by snapping at them. You know, speaking of snapping, one time I was in New York City once in my life, and I think I hailed for a taxi. And that is one empowering thing to do.
Snapping? Or isn't it a whistle that you're supposed to do?
I think maybe I didn't snap. I don't know. Forget it.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome to 30ish. I look like a giant.
Well, that's because you're sitting in front of me, which is fine. Okay. Jesus. All right.
I'm feeling good.
Are you?
After
you feeling saucy?
My sip that's basically a shot because of the drink that I made is so strong.
Yeah, we tried, but we put too many shots. What are we drinking?
Hey, guys. This is 30ish Podcast. Welcome. Mm-hmm. We're going to tell you about our drinks that we made. They're nice amber brown.
It's good though. It's good. It tastes like
pretty good.
Like if a cherry was dipped in alcohol kernel. Jesus.
It's so we didn't have the guidance of Shay's sister-in-law.
No.
Are you still feeling that way from that? Girl, you better buckle up and get ready for the rest. Yeah, this is a strong ass drink. So I tried to replicate the drink that her sister-in-law made us last time, but I got the ratios way off the first time, and so before this,
it's better.
It
really is.
That we're drinking,
I'm being dramatic.
It is better than the first one, but it's basically just bourbon.
Jesus Christ.
Some hi, Colonel.
He doesn't get enough love.
Colonel
oh my
mustard.
Gosh.
Did I hit you?
What?
We have a guest.
Why?
We have a special guest.
Come on in.
It's our bartender.
No, it's Rachel.
What?
What?
Did they eat yet?
Oh.
Did the dogs?
They have not. Jesus.
The debate of the night.
The children have eaten. They have not eaten. Hey, my aunt will know this. It was like one time when they, forgot to feed us Thanksgiving dinner.
Your aunt?
Yeah.
Your family forgot to feed you guys Thanksgiving dinner?
They didn't just forget to feed just one child. It was multiple of us, but it was fine.
So all the adults ate, but none of the children ate?
Hey man, it was fend for yourself in my family.
It's probably because you guys were all fucking around outside and they're like, fuck these kids.
It's probably true. I don't blame them.
If these motherfuckers want to eat, they're gonna eat them. They're gonna just get it themselves.
Well, I miss you too, Tia.
Horrible. And hilarious. Actually, fuck you guys.
No, it's super funny. I like it.
Fuck you.
I got some good family memories out of it. I thought it was funny.
That is very character building for you.
It is. That made us stronger. Yes.
Anyway. Look at you now. You're a strong, independent woman.
I'm just a cat or a hat. Nope.
A cat in a hat?
I'm something. I have a cat in my lap. I do not have hats.
I got a cat in my hat and a cat in my lap.
Anyway, so we were... Sorry.
I don't know.
Gosh.
Okay, we are so all over the place. We are not that drunk.
No.
Or high.
Or whatever.
Or...
No, I don't mix that shit. I'm an adult.
Yeah, my drink's strong.
It's strong. It's really good, though.
It's a version of a fucking Manhattan with coffee liquor. Like that
it's
one time.
Really good.
Keeping it real original here.
Keeping it real.
Okay, what's going on? What's going on in the world?
Okay, well... What I did last week, I watched the Pamela Anderson documentary. Ooh, did you watch that?
I did. Me and Chris definitely watched that.
It was good. Did you watch the show? The Hulu show?
Oh, I did kind of, but I fell asleep.
I never watched the show.
Chris would watch it without me, so.
But I just thought, I did not follow Pamela Anderson when I was a kid, probably because I was just.
She freaked me out.
She freaked you out? Why did she
freak me out? It was just she's just like a porn star. I don't need to fucking...
I mean, that's fair.
I don't need to associate and spend my time figuring out. And she just seemed like she was a fucking crazy... And Tommy Lee was
he was
gross.
He was a nut job. But I never watched Baywatch, so... I just kind of thought she was kind of this kooky whatever, and it turns out she really is just this kooky but lovable, and she's just very sweet.
I like her. No,
and
I didn't realize.
I really loved how protective of her boys were about her. I thought it was really sweet, and I just thought what happened to her was pretty fucked up. And she didn't make any money. Like it was just a really interesting perspective.
Yeah, it
on her.
was.
Yeah.
And I love that she just lives in British Columbia now, at her parents' property.
With a bunch of dogs, and good for her. She's living her best life. Mad respect for her.
Yeah. She's just a crazy little lady who had a crazy wild life, and she just fucking did whatever the fuck she wanted. Right. And she's like, I have no regrets. And it was a very interesting documentary. You see her tits a lot.
Yeah, you see them way a lot.
Yeah.
More so than I thought I would.
And god fucking damn, she was so young. And then thinking about how young those girls are is like, oh my god, this is a whole other thing. Which I haven't seen the Playboy documentary or whatever. Isn't there a new Playboy document? Maybe
There's
not.
a lot of Playboy shit.
There's a new Victoria's Secret one I haven't seen because I'm like, I don't need to fucking even watch it. I already fucking know.
I'm
keep
watching
punching your mic.
It's fine. I'm watching the Playboy murders on Moedas.
Playboy
Discovery.
Murders?
Yeah, I guess it's they're just one episode, whatever, but I didn't know there was enough to make a whole series about, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway.
I didn't realize that there was all of that, but not surprising.
It's a good one.
Hollywood's a weird place. I just watched, which me and Chris were very disappointed in this movie, but we just watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tarantino movie.
What didn't you like about it?
What didn't I like?
No, what didn't you like? Because you're disappointed.
It was slow.
Well, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. Of course it's slow.
No.
I think all of his movies are really fucking slow. But that's my opinion, and it's probably very controversial because I do not like his movies.
And also, at first, I literally had no idea what it was about. I had no idea it was about the Charles Manson shit. But, even so, I felt like the movie, there was maybe 15 minutes where I was, intrigued. I just felt like it was,
You know what's weird?
Leonardo DiCaprio's fucking a washed
washed up actor.
It's what is also what was that? Just because he was the neighbor, I don't know. It was stupid, but anyways, it was about the Charles Manson shit that made me realize that I don't really know about that story very much.
Really? I didn't know it was about it until the very end. And I was like, oh, well, not kind of in the middle. I was like, oh, okay.
Did you like that movie?
It was the only Quentin Tarantino movie that I actually like.
Okay, so I like his movies.
I don't like his movies
because
I think he's overrated.
I mean, I don't like all his movies. There are some movies I'm like, okay, buddy, but Pulp Fiction and
nope, like
Django and Inglourious Bastards.
Okay, to be fair,
good storylines.
I do like Django. Django, I do like.
Yeah,
but that's the only one I think outside of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I didn't like Pulp Fiction. I'm like, I don't need to see that again. I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, so I just
so I don't know.
That's funny.
But that one you just didn't like.
Okay, wasn't into it.
That's fair.
No one gives a shit about what I think about it. What are we talking about today?
I don't know. We're already drunk.
Literally a sip of this.
Yes, you rolled crime.
So I don't even I literally only drink for this show.
That's not true for myself.
I just don't.
As I'm also kind of washing it down with this High Noon. Sponsor us.
Literally. I was also thinking, sponsor me, Vans.
That would be amazing.
Sponsor me, Carhartt. Sponsor me.
All of it.
Billabong. Anyway.
That'd actually be a cool one for us. Anyway.
Billabongs for everyone.
Talking about crime.
I rolled crime, yes I did, and we should probably get into it because it might be long. I better fucking rip through it because I just
mine's not too bad.
Kept getting deeper and getting more information. Then I was like, oh my god, I have to talk about that.
You know me about crime. I'm into that. So, and then I rolled history.
History.
Mm-hmm.
For a...
Oh, you know what? Going back to so as you guys at least hopefully listen to our last episode, which was the episode before that, because I'm just special.
Yeah, so everyone's probably confused, but our last episode that aired, if you're going in order, was our lost episode because Shay lost the episode.
Yeah,
on the memory
just
card.
Threw it across the room,
but
I guess.
Then the episode before that was the one we actually would have rolled for this time.
Correct. Yes. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It's kind of like a crazy maze that you guys are going to have to work yourselves through.
I just figured all 30-year-olds like puzzles, so you're welcome. So there you go.
We're always taking you on wild rides on this show, so we wanted to take you on one
Brie
trying
and
to
Shay's
listen
wild
to
ride.
us.
You know you
Dude,
like it.
when we have a theme park that has 1990s, early 2000s nostalgic ride, themed
is that like
rides.
where like some of the carts kind of like scratch you and like you leave with bruises and it's like janky.
Yeah, it's like there's one and there'll be one ride with that like loop at that adventure park place that's like but really like not humanly possible for you to.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, and there's like fucking spikes coming out of it and
it's
shit.
It's great. Yeah,
there'll be only one ride like that.
Yeah,
but then there'll also be that other ride we were just talking about,
Colonel,
the wild ride. Anyways, yeah, I rolled crime. What did you roll?
I rolled history.
Oh, yeah, that's what you said.
But I was going to say, oh my
Christ.
God, so seriously, I guess my cat is really deprived of attention. He never does this.
Both of us.
Yes, he doesn't ever do this. He's very, I think he's finally going to forgive me, you guys. I think he's going to forgive me.
I think that he's healing.
He's healing
his heart from his disgust with you from getting a dog.
This is ridiculous. Anyway.
He's literally laying on both of us right now. What in the actual?
So stupid. Anyway.
So funny.
What I was going to say, what I did watch yesterday, I feel like we're like in a lesbian couple right now.
It's a throuple.
Right?
With Colonel. We're his sister wives.
He would be
only.
He would have a bunch of bitches. You would, wouldn't you, buddy? I'm sure you saw it. It was like going around on Instagram. It was to talk about like that's the one I released. We just well, you know what I'm trying to say. That really confusing thing.
Yes.
With the service animals that I talked about.
Yeah.
And did you see the dog that passed away a couple days ago and she flew home on Southwest Airlines and her name was Kaya or something and she was a PTSD dog?
No.
It was so cute and I like looked up through all her stories and it was so adorable and she got cancer and she died. But I was like, well, that's kind of coincidental that, you know, I released that and then
I know.
Apparently she like she got something named after her too. It was like a deep dive at 2:00 in the morning. Anyway, that's what I also
did.
Your
little heart.
It did. Wow. Anyway, we can stop talking because it's been 12 minutes and I'm so sorry.
It's time to get into the podcast.
It is time. Sorry, right. Colonel. I'm going to pull you up.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming.
You're amazing. If you stuck around.
We'll see you on the flip side.
You got it. There you go.
All right, today on crime, my crime segment, we'll be talking... I, don't feel right not being next to the mic.
I think it's hilarious that you're just like, I'm crime. You're fine. You gotta just set the mood, girl.
I gotta feel good. I can't talk for 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Okay, let's see here. Okay. I think I feel better about that.
I'll tell you if we need to turn something up.
All right. Well, it's just because I feel weird,
just getting real close to it?
Not getting close.
Real close.
Okay, so today on crime, I'll be talking about a crime against humanity.
Ooh, my favorite.
And really a crime that the CIA committed against just normal people.
Alien? Oh no. Okay.
Today we're talking about MKUltra. Have you ever heard about that?
Fuck yes, I have. That is, I could understand how you're like, this could be a long one because it is a deep dive.
It's a very deep dive. So obviously, again, here at 30ish, we like to give you, cliff notes so you can do your own little deeper dives because, we're not trying to fucking keep you here all day. We're not the experts, but we're just trying to spark your fucking
minds.
Anything. Your minds, your loins,
I mean, we do that every day, don't we, guys?
We do.
Or gals. Or both. Whichever.
Or you.
Or
out there. So.
The more I'm drinking it, the better it's getting. Yeah. Just so you know.
It's really fucking strong. Okay, so in 1953, guys, if you don't know what MKUltra was, 1953. Picture this.
Just
Central
keep talking.
Intelligence Agency, the CIA, Director Alan Dulles authorizes this project, and it launches one of its most dubious covert programs ever, turning unsuspecting humans into guinea pigs for its research into mind-altering drugs and mind control, and among other things. And they just committed it on just, normal everyday people. Actually, not just normal everyday people. A lot of not everyday normal people and
wasn't it mostly
compromised people and
Right.
prisoners and sex workers and minorities and
wasn't a ton of them like also just people in the military as well?
yes,
Okay.
they did
I think that's
experiments on people in the military.
I think that's
too.
the one that I kind of really know about. I don't know about all the other ones like you're talking about, like the poor innocent bystanders. Not that you know what I mean.
So pop culture fun fact.
Pop quiz.
Countless shows and movies have been inspired by this MKUltra mind control experiments. Most notably, The Men Who Stare at Goats, the Jason Bourne series, and Stranger Things, the one that everyone and their goddamn mom loves.
I'm so excited for it to come back.
Is it coming back?
One more season.
Kept up on it.
One more season. They had to we were gonna get it for 2 years, so we have one more year left.
Damn.
Because
aren't they gonna be like 28?
Well, that's also fun fact. That's also why there's like a whole thing now called the Stranger Things effect. So James Cameron, for instance, that's why he shot like 45 avatars at once, because he didn't want the quote unquote Stranger Things effect where the kids age, because I mean, even with their like regular seasons, they were doing it every year. The kids were still like fuck, because they were like going through puberty, so they were growing up so fast.
Every show in the 90s was like.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think it makes a difference. Like, I'm just like, yeah, they grow up.
In Avatar, they're all adults.
Well, did you see the second one?
No.
Okay. There's like kids and shit. That's why I guess he's gonna like kind of do that story for a while now. Oh, God. There's kid avatars.
Okay, James
but I'm also
Cameron.
at the same time just make them smaller because they're computer animated.
Literally, just
whatever.
Don't spend $6 billion on a movie, maybe.
Well,
or do.
He can.
He literally can.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
Okay, moving along. So, again, MKUltra began in 1953. Its creator, chemist Sidney Gottlieb, only admitted that its end goal of human mind control was an impossibility a decade later. So,
Okay.
When he left the CIA in 1973, he attempted to destroy all evidence of his activities with MKUltra and its fucking experiments. But due to the efforts of whistleblowers and an incomplete job of historical erasure on Gottlieb's part, we know more about this dark period of American history than the CIA ever intended us to. So we still don't know a fucking lot, though, because they barely recovered some of the shit. Like, they barely covered like any of the stuff in terms of how much information there was. They
why would they
get rid of all the evidence?
Why would they? It's just like the UFOs.
Yeah, exactly. But they didn't destroy that. Well, maybe they probably did.
Why
So while some of these experiments themselves seem like they were just, part of science fiction or some Netflix show, they were real, and they, the disregard for humanity and of their test subjects ruined lives and destroyed minds. So let's get into it. Also,
excited.
all my research, I could have gotten a bunch of shit from, whatever. There's all sorts of shit on it, but
Oh yeah.
the shit I'm going to tell you is literally from the CIA website, part of the Freedom of Information Act, little section. It's like part of CIA.gov.
Oh, like they
and you
had
can
to release
read a
it?
bunch of shit. But it's also like they didn't release this shit till 2018, most of it.
And they probably didn't say or like, hey, we're releasing this now.
In the public, it was I'll tell you later, but this information that I got, like, that's actually that was like declassified finally, wasn't until 2018 that this was like put in their fucking Freedom of Information database.
Okay.
So yeah,
Already hiccuping.
glad we get to learn.
these
these things so much later.
Well,
in
I mean,
life.
they were just
And
doing
then
it
it
for our
never
own well-being.
happens.
We didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't know.
Okay, so MKUltra involved the surreptitious. I don't know that word.
That sounds like surreptitious. I don't know.
I changed it in every other one.
It sounds
'cause I
like
didn't
very.
like saying
It sounds very like sexual.
Don't.
Like you're like, if you would like Chloe, she's very surreptitious.
She's
If it says on the tit.
Super tipitous. Titty.
I did not
Super titty fuck.
get. I'm pretty sure it's an AP English word.
It is. Wait, how do you find... Hold on. Dumb! Secret. Fuck you. Okay.
This is going to take forever. This is amazing.
So MKUltra involved the uses of many different types of drugs, as well as other methods to manipulate individual mental states and alter brain function. And it wasn't brought to public attention. So this was started in 1953, or like this version of it. And it wasn't brought to public attention until 1975 through investigations by the Church Committee, not like an actual church, but this dude whose last name was Church. His committee, and by the Rockefeller Commission. They would investigate in 1973 these things because some things came up, and we'll talk about that later. Anyways, so although the CIA insists that the MKUltra type experiments have been abandoned, a 14-year CIA veteran, Victor Marchetti, has stated in various interviews that the CIA routinely conducts disinformation campaigns and that the CIA mind control research continued. And in a 1977 interview, the CIA claimed that MKUltra was abandoned was just a cover story, and it actually still went on. But they're like, no, it doesn't go on. We stopped it after this time that you guys found out about us, and all the evidence has been destroyed.
Perfect.
And we changed the name. Anyways, on the Senate floor in 1977, Senator Ted Kennedy said, the deputy director of the CIA revealed that over 30 universities, so 30-ish, and institutions were involved in an extensive testing and experimentation program, which included covert drug tests on unwitting citizens. Literally didn't know that they were getting drugged. They just were drugged.
So it was like a pop
and
quiz,
ghost.
but you weren't prepared for.
Literally.
Okay, cool.
Literally. And it was at all social levels, high and low, Native Americans and foreign.
Okay.
Several of these tests involved the administration of LSD to unwitting subjects in social situations, and at least one death, which we'll get into him later.
What can you imagine, though? Like,
no.
Fuck. No.
I couldn't.
Maybe
I probably could. Because now they just do it in plain sight.
Maybe.
Well, just put it in your water.
I mean, that's what this episode should be called. Like, can you imagine? Because no, absolutely not.
No. Okay, so the agency, the CIA itself, acknowledged that these tests made little scientific sense, but fuck it.
Yeah.
We'll still do it, and I'll tell you how many times they did. So, also, just so you know, the word ultra, when they use it in the CIA, it means like this is ultra fucking secret. Super top secret, top of the tippity top secrets, okay?
So what's MK?
MK related, it had to do with like the services that like were partaking in it or something. I don't know. Okay. Forget it.
Just like a different, I'm sure it's
I don't know what it meant.
Fancy
I forget. Whatever. It's very fancy, okay? It's very I don't know.
It's very fancy.
Really fancy. She was really secret, okay? So, there was also a precursor to MKUltra that began in 1945 when Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency was established and given direct responsibility for Operation Paperclip, which was a program to recruit former Nazi scientists, some which studied torture and brainwashing, and several had just been identified and persecuted as war criminals during the Nuremberg trials. But so they just recruited those scientists so that they could, figure out what they were doing so they could do it on the Chinese and the
for the
Korean War.
That checks out. And honestly,
and the Soviet Union.
I thought Operation Paperclip was going to be something much more benign, like
the
annoying, like whatever, like a experiment. That's how Clippy was born from the fucking.
No,
Shay. It's not at all.
No, and then
something way
then
worse.
that operation became known as Project Bluebird, which is a whole nother fucking episode. But that was basically the same shit.
I'm sure with any of the CIA stuff, like it's like you can go off on tangents.
Yeah, it was a study in mind control, interrogation, behavior modification, and other related topics.
Cool.
What the fuck does that mean?
Do you know what that means? That's
it means
mutants.
Lots of shit.
It's mutants. That's what it means.
They probably did.
There's
like
an Xavier school somewhere.
Things.
I know it. You can't disprove it.
It's true.
So jealous.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, anyways, so again, I don't know if I said this earlier, but they made this program was put in place largely in response to the Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean use of mind control techniques on U.S. prisoners of war in Korea. Okay. And the CIA wanted to jump on the bandwagon and do it to their own captives and also use it for some other purposes up their sleeve. Like? Which I'll tell you.
Okay.
Soon. They also were interested in being able to manipulate foreign leaders with such techniques and would later invent several schemes to drug Fidel Castro, which, I mean, I get it.
Ooh, I mean, like...
That's cool.
In theory, it's a good thought.
I mean, if this was the only thing that they were like, oh, we're just doing this to just do this... Which I'm sure they were. Anyways, MKUltra experiments were often conducted without the subject's knowledge or consent. And in some cases, academic researchers were being funded through grants from the CIA through fronting organizations that were unaware of their work. And that money funding like Harvard and Stanford and shit was fucking doing this shit. And was being funded by the CIA to do these experiments on students, on teachers, whatever.
I mean, the teachers probably were like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they're like, just fucking load me up.
Load me up. No, that's horrible. That's
the
awful.
project attempted to produce a perfect truth drug, aka the truth serum, used for interrogating suspected Soviet spies during the Cold War. And generally to explore any other possibilities of mind control. So it really wasn't just for like, oh, well, we could use it for, well, yeah, we could use it for this, but it was like literally like any type of mind control that they could fucking, like, they were experimenting with it.
Okay, that's fair.
How they could fucking do some shit. Sidney Gottlieb, another MKUltra effort by him was the sub-project called Subproject 54. Okay. And it was the Navy's top secret, quote-unquote, perfect concussion program, which used suboral frequency blast to erase memory. Like, you know, in Men in Black and shit. Yeah, that kind of shit. So they were literally doing that on people and testing it out.
They're like, it's like Studio 54, but like in controlled experiments.
Yeah, it's nuts. So just do you want to guess how much the CIA's budget for these experiments were? $25 million.
I was like gonna be like
in 1953.
I was gonna guess too high, but wait, 1953. So that has to be like, I'm gonna look that up while you keep going. Or did you already do it?
It probed dozens of methods of influencing and controlling the mind. Dozens, not just with hallucinatory drugs and shit. Like so many things.
Well, no shit.
Also, another little fun fact: the CIA used $240,000 to purchase the world's entire supply of LSD for use in the experiments. And Gottlieb was called the unwitting godfather of the entire LSD counterculture. Because I mean that's pretty much how it came over to the US, and then it was he also it went downhill from here.
I was gonna say it was not a good time.
No. So Gottlieb himself took LSD more than 200 times.
Jesus. How do you
But the thing about these experiments was like they weren't just like doing it recreationally or like they weren't doing like little amounts. They were literally experimenting with like so many different.
Just so you know, that's
amounts.
Just so you know, it would be $250 million today if you adjusted for inflation. So, just so you know.
Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
All right. So the CIA had multiple units working on MKUltra related testing, including an Office of Security and Technical Services staff. Okay. And before dosing unsuspected victims, they were being responsible and were dosing themselves within this unit.
Well, see, they did some... They thought about that. They're like, hey, I'm not going to give Margaret anything that I wouldn't take.
Exactly.
All right? But obviously without her knowledge, because then that would be all fucking weird if I told her. So, yeah.
That's fine. So... Gottlieb recognized, however, that the controlled setting was not the same as a public setting, so he allowed agents in the TSS to begin dosing each other at the office, and the target agent would have no prior knowledge. So literally, they were all just like slipping each other fucking LSD.
Can you imagine?
And not telling each other.
Can you imagine going...
And then later being like, by the way, I just slipped you some
into
fucking LSD.
Like the fucking office on a Monday.
Yeah,
and you're drinking your coffee and the walls start melting. You're like, what the... Jim?
Literally.
God damn it.
And it was just like kind of fun, I feel like, for them too.
Right.
It was.
And they got
it was like
paid
a game
to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like...
They did. They certainly did. Yeah. So it ultimately ended up becoming a hazard among operatives. You think?
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay. So, security personnel became concerned that agents in TSS were becoming unhinged due to their frequent LSD use, and matters came to a head when a plot to spike the punch bowl at the annual CIA's Christmas party was revealed, and that was the end of LSD in the office. For the CIA.
Jesus.
Isn't that hilarious?
That's pretty funny.
Okay, anyways, moving along.
Ridiculous.
So because most of the MKUltra records were deliberately destroyed in 1973 by the order of CIA Director Richard Helm. So the director of the CIA ordered for those to be destroyed. So it's weird.
So weird.
They weren't doing anything weird. It has been difficult, if not impossible, for investigators to gain a complete understanding of the more than 150 individually funded research sub-projects sponsored by MKUltra and related CIA 171 programs.
That's wild.
But at least we got some good stories like them dosing the Christmas party punch bowl.
I guess so. I mean, I would go to that Christmas party. 100%. Hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
No questions asked.
It's not the 1950s if you're not fucking dosing each other with fucking... I guess that'd be more like the 60s.
Dosing each other's
Dosing
mothers.
the punch. Yeah. So, the 1955 MKUltra document gives an indication of the size and range of the effort. That this document refers to the study of an assortment of mind-altering substances described as follows. Are you ready for this? I'm about to list 17.
You know me. I love a good list.
Oh, God. So, okay, this is literally...
Like Schindler's List.
This is literally the list of the shit they were using. Okay, here we go. Substance 1. Substances which will promote illogical thinking and impulsiveness to the point where the recipient would be discredited in public.
Okay.
2. So basically they were also wanting to like drug public figures and make them look like shit. Like that was literally another reason they were testing these out. Anyways,
interesting.
Number 2, substances. Yeah, isn't that weird?
Interesting.
Oh, but all this disappeared. We don't do anything.
It absolutely disappeared.
Yeah, it's very fucking interesting.
Yeah.
So number 2, substances which increase the efficiency of
cleaning. I'm just gonna guess
perception and
Okay, that makes sense.
A perception and something else.
Yeah.
Some of the words on like.
Well, that's how they get you.
Literally.
That's how they get you, girl.
It is.
They're like, hey.
This was in the website.
They probably were like, what can I think of a different word? Like, they put it in a thesaurus and was like, yeah, that makes...
No, this is just not this isn't even a word.
What is it?
Because it's like, there were words in this document that were misspelled. Like...
Interesting.
And the document, the font was like tiny as fuck. And like, it was just like, looked like one big run-on sentence.
Well, I mean...
But I fucking read it for you guys.
But I'm pretty sure, too, like, whoever was doing these reports probably still high or on, like, fucked up for whatever experiments that were done. So let's just be real about that.
That's true. So, number 3, materials which will prevent or counteract the intoxicating effect of alcohol. Materials which will promote Materials that will produce the signs and symptoms of recognized diseases in reversible ways so that they may be used for malingering, which is like...
Malingering.
I looked that up and I forget.
Interesting. Yeah, these words are weird.
No, yeah. I just don't know this word.
No, I don't know.
I forget what it means, but I'm sure you guys do. Oh my god, now I don't know.
You're
so,
okay.
Materials in which will render the induction of hypnosis easier or otherwise enhance its usefulness. Substances which will enhance the ability of individuals to withstand privation, torture, and coercion during interrogation and so-called brainwashing. Number 8, materials and physical methods which will produce amnesia for events preceding and during their use. Number 9, physical methods of producing shock and confusion over the extended periods of time and capable of multiple use.
Okay.
Substances which will produce physical disablement, such as paralysis of the legs, acute amnesia, etc. And substances that will produce pure euphoria with no subsequent letdown. So they were also testing those kinds of things. Substances which will alter personality structure in a way that the tendency of the recipient to become dependent upon another person is enhanced.
What?
A material which will cause mental confusion of such a type that the individual under its influence will find it difficult to maintain a fabrication under questioning. So, truth serum.
Okay.
Substances which will lower the ambition and general working efficiency of men and when administered in undetectable amounts.
What is that for?
Substances, I don't fucking know. They were testing it out though.
Jesus.
Substances which promote weakness or distortion of the eyesight or hearing faculties, preferably without permanent effects. Number 16, a knockout pill which can surreptitiously be administered in drinks, food, cigarettes, and aerosols.
Right, that makes
sense.
sense.
Which will be safe.
It's organic. Thank God.
Which will be safe something. Yeah, see, some of these
It's organic.
things.
It's organic.
Provide a maximum of amnesia and be suitable for the use by agent types on an ad hoc basis. What? And number 17, a material which can be surreptitiously.
That's my new favorite word. Only the way that you pronounce it.
By the above routes, and which in very small amounts will make it impossible for a man to perform any physical activity whatsoever.
Okay, that makes sense why they would be researching that.
Historians have also asserted that creating a Manchurian... So this is not part of what's in the actual document. Well, this is actually in the document from the CIA. Historians have asserted that creating a Manchurian candidate subject through mind control techniques was a goal of MKUltra and related CIA projects, which basically means a mind controlled assassin, like that they could control to just
right. Is that kind of the premise of the Bourne?
Yeah,
whatever.
I think so.
I never
Bourne
watched
Identity
them.
or whatever. Yeah,
but like they're little agents.
Yeah. So,
you know what else? Marvel. What's it called?
Yeah, they give
Black
it
Widow.
to us in plain sight.
Black Widow.
What? I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, they're made like super assassins. I think there's some kind of talk about like some drug use or whatever, like experiments and shit like that. But yeah, just saying.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So, the experiments were even exported to Canada when the CIA recruited Scottish psychiatrist Donald Owen Cameron, creator of the psychic driving concept, he calls it, which the CIA found particularly interesting. Cameron had been hoping to correct schizophrenia by erasing existing memories and reprogramming the psyche. That was his intent, apparently. Which, I mean, that's fair. Like, he wanted to cure schizophrenia. Like, schizophrenia.
A
lot of this shit comes out of good.
I mean, a lot of it is. And then you just go, but what if? And you're like, no, don't do that.
Yeah. So, in addition to LSD, Cameron also experimented with various paralytic drugs, as well as electroconvulsive therapy.
Oh, there it is.
At 30 to 40 times the normal power.
Shit.
Yeah. His driving experiments consisted of putting subjects into drug-induced coma for weeks at a time, up to 3 months in one case.
Jesus.
While playing tape loops of noise or simple repetitive statements. His experiments were typically carried out on his patients who had entered the institute for minor problems such as anxiety or postpartum depression. But many suffered permanently from his actions.
Maybe that's why for so many years nobody said anything. They're like, we don't have anxiety or postpartum because they're going to send us to the fucking loony bin.
Yeah,
we're gonna
literally. That's why it was so stigma.
Yeah, they're just like, don't say anything because you're going to be sent away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then that was ingrained in our brains, and then now
and
we're
then it
breaking
became
free
unhealthy,
of that.
and now and it's coming full circle. Yes. Anyway.
Cameron's goal was depatterning, in which patients would be reduced to an infantile physiological or psychological state, which would subsequently allow doctors to rebuild their minds as they saw fit. So they proved that they could, and so then they started doing more experiments on what they could actually do.
A fancy way of saying mind control.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
His treatments resulted in surprising victims' incontinence, amnesia, forgetting how to talk, forgetting their parents, and thinking their interrogators were their parents. Yep. His work was inspired and paralleled by the British psychiatrist Dr. William Sargent at St. Thomas Hospital, London, and Belmont Hospital, Surrey, who was also involved in intelligence services and who experimented extensively on his patients without their consent, causing similar damage.
Cool.
And
sounds like a great time.
Fun fact.
Oh, I love it.
During this time when he was doing all his wonderful experimentation on fucking normal ass fucking humans. Jesus. It was during this era that Cameron became known worldwide as the first chairman of the World Psychiatric Association, as well as the president of the American and Canadian Psychiatric Associations.
Jesus. Okay, so he was the head of it all. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's weird how that works.
Yeah. That's lovely.
God, I'm just going to scream everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you are.
One particularly absurd and chilling aspect of the experiments was called Operation Midnight Climax.
I don't like that.
Yes, it involves prostitutes.
Okay.
It was a project in which sex workers brought potential I can't fucking talk. Sex workers brought potential test subjects into a safe house.
Okay.
A safe house.
Yes.
Where they would be dosed with LSD and secretly observed by CIA agents.
Okay.
For clearly scientific purposes.
So wait, so they lured weird
men.
Not weird, but just men to there, and then the sex workers got to go away to go retrieve more, and they just put them in like rats and just gave them LSD and just hang out here.
So basically Gottlieb hired a dude named George White, who was a fucking freak. They basically set up a fun house for them, and he would hide behind a two-way mirror and drank martinis as he watched the sex workers bring in these dudes, dose them with LSD, and he would observe what they would do on LSD. And really, he was observing them fuck, and he liked it.
The sex workers, because the sex workers
would be doing shit with the people while they were on LSD. So the sex workers would still be in there.
Were they
in
on
these
LSD?
rooms? I don't know if they were probably on a little LSD.
They're just
they were on probably other drugs. I think they were given drugs, and then also if you ever get running with the law, we'll get you out of jail.
Okay, so they would just get high on LSD, and then they would this guy would sit behind a two-way mirror watching martinis and watch these people have sex.
Yeah, basically.
Cool. So he just had a weird fetish, is what this was. Okay,
exactly.
Cool. Got it. And it was funded by the government. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Got it.
It was science.
For science
and for research.
Yeah.
Yeah, for research on, fucking interrogating.
Fucking is for sure. Yeah. Jesus.
Exactly. So, December 1974 was the first time it was reported that the CIA had conducted illegal domestic activities, including experiments on U.S. citizens.
Okay.
But it wasn't until the summer of 1975 that the Congressional Church Committee reported and revealed to the public for the first time that the CIA and the Department of Defense had conducted experiments on both unwitting and cognizant human subjects as part of an extensive program to influence and control human behavior through the use of psychoactive drugs such as LSD and mescaline and other chemical, biological, and psychological means.
Okay.
And they also revealed at that time, finally, that at least one subject had died after the administration of the LSD.
But of course.
A CIA agent himself, Mr. Frank Olson.
Oh. Okay.
Isn't that fucked up?
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about his story.
Okay.
Where am I at?
You're 30 minutes. You're good.
33? Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm almost done.
Oh, see? You're good.
Kinda. So yeah, Olson was basically... So these dudes were all in the CIA, and they went to a researcher's lodge up in Deep Creek Lake, Maryland, to discuss work that included the use of LSD. But during the meeting, 8 of the 10 men present were dosed.
Oh, but of course.
And dosed in their liquor, in their Contro drinks. And they were not notified of that till 20 minutes after they were dosed. Olson apparently had a severe reaction and left the retreat in an agitated state, later threatened to resign.
Okay.
In the days that followed, according to the Olson family members, he became strange. He started acting strangely and appeared depressed.
Oh, but of course.
Realizing Olson may have a serious illness, Gottlieb referred him to a psychiatric counseling in New York, where Olson ended up worsening and ended up dying. Or no, I'm sorry. His associates decided to send him to a sanatorium near Rockville, Maryland.
Oh.
But the night before their departure, Olson, quote unquote, fell through a closed hotel window and hurtled 10 stories to his death.
Oh.
His CIA companion woke up right in time to see the suicide, but didn't wake up in time to help him. He just saw him going out the window, just committing suicide, of course.
Can you imagine that?
No, I couldn't.
Jesus.
So when the news of the CIA's secret LSD program finally leaked 20 years later, after it actually happened and after even Olson died, it wasn't until then that the family learned that he had been slipped the hallucinogen days before his death. And then
poor guy. He probably thought he was flying.
And the CIA continued to insist that Olson had committed suicide, but the family didn't really buy it, and they ended up getting a settlement. Thanks to Mr. President Jerry
Usually
Gerald
it's
Ford.
not a settlement.
Yeah, exactly. So weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and also it wasn't until the late 1990s when Olson's son had his father's body exhumed and examined, they discovered that his father might have actually died from a blunt force trauma to the head,
and then
which may have been received prior to his fall from the window.
So what are they? How would that explain the other guy that saw him fall?
He probably was lying.
Oh, he was lying. Got it. That's
He wasn't truthful.
Yeah, he threw them, or he did it.
So let's move along. So a couple more victims, okay?
Okay.
A couple famous ones, actually.
Oh, even better. A victim is a victim, no matter how
so,
small. That was me.
Anyways, the extent of the participation, to put in perspective, 44 American colleges or universities, including Stanford and Harvard, 15 research foundations, or chemical and pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical. They are pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Going to the pharmacy.
Some of these companies included Sandoz, which is currently Novartis, which is right up there with fucking Bayer, which is a whole another one, which is what
Bayer, like the aspirin company?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You don't know about Bayer?
No, but I don't take aspirin, so I'm good.
Oh, don't worry. They own everything else, too.
Sweet.
They own Monsanto now. They own everything.
What?
Bayer?
No, what do they own, too?
Monsanto?
What's that?
The fucking glycophosphate fucking pesticide company.
Oh. Oh, well. I don't know shit about shit.
Then that's another... I almost did that, but
another whale of a tale.
I need way more time for this.
You could also do two-parters. You know that, right?
That's true.
We can do whatever we want. We can do whatever you like.
You know what? We could. That'd be fun.
Anyway.
Also, 12 hospitals outside of the hospitals within universities were also participating in these fucking experiments. Oh, and 3 prisons. They would also experiment on fucking inmates, of course.
Okay.
And
well,
one
duh.
dude,
Like, who gives a shit about
one
them?
dude who was like a mob boss actually wrote about it. I forget his name was like Brie or something, but he talked about how they used to he would be in a fucking room with like 8 other dudes tripping on LSD, and it was like
Jesus.
the worst thing. And it's like, yeah, you're a fucking mob boss. Like, I don't really care about you. But at the same time, they were doing fucked up shit. That was not okay. So anyways,
It was not okay.
Harold Blower, who was a professional tennis player, competed against the likes of Bill Tiden. He was one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Mm-hmm. Following a bout with depression, he was checked himself into a New York psychiatric institute where he was diagnosed as pseudo-neurotic schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. And he checked in December of 1952 and would be dead just a month later. Mm-hmm. I thought he was improving and was scheduled for release from the institute, but then doctors began treating Blower with a series of injections that, as turned out, would be a derivative of mescaline. And these injections were administered through, and it was because these doctors were just experimenting with, they were being funded by the CIA, just like they do with drugs now. Like,
right.
They fund the doctors to fucking prescribe them.
Right.
But just different. It's a little different.
That's like, and those are some great crime ones. Like, I would love to do like the one on fentanyl and all of that kind of, like, there's some, I mean, you probably watched the documentary on HBO, the fentanyl. It's a great one. But like talking about how essentially, like, yeah, it's, you know, doctors, you have to just kind of be careful on like, who are they being represented by? Are they working for you or are they working for the drug company?
It's fucked up.
Like, how much money are they so desperate that they need that pharmaceutical money? So you almost want to find, like, actually, the best way to do it now, which this is just my own personal opinion, is like doing like there are like these monthly memberships with doctors because they're not owned by pharmaceutical companies, and it's awesome. And it's like $50 a month. It's like, and it does everything. Your preventative care. It's like health insurance. There's one here in Fort Collinsbury. It's fucking amazing, and I should tell you about it. And she's amazing, and yeah. It's like, it should be how you should do health insurance. Oh my God. Anyway, so like she does all your preventative care. There's a pharmacy. The drugs are like $10 fucking. It's amazing. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. I'll tell you about it. Yeah.
Well, tell me about it.
You can do like a family plan too, so you and Chris could be under like the same umbrella. Because I'm assuming, do you have, I'm just assuming.
Medicaid.
So you need health insurance.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so you need another option, a viable option. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
So yeah, he was getting these injections that were a derivative of mescaline. They were administered, though some of the doctors said they had no idea what they're injecting.
Oh.
And they're
like,
it
looked yellow, and I sneezed on it, and I was like, I don't know.
They got their money. Yeah, so...
Well, it makes sense. I mean, were they pulling people off the street at all? Do you know? Like, they were pulling off prostitutes off the street.
Yeah, they were pulling...
Yeah, so, like, they're like, whatever.
And, like, people that were, like...
Like, they didn't, like
mentally
almost, like...
unstable.
Yeah, like, didn't have any
whatever.
Family or whatever. They didn't care.
Yeah, I think they were doing
Which is probably why they picked through the, like...
Yeah, and...
mental hospitals.
Yeah.
Which is so sad.
So... Another undocumented but suspected participant in MKUltra was the infamous Charles Manson, convicted of ordering a string of brutal Los Angeles murders that shocked the nation in 1969. Speaking of
really fucked
Once
up.
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It really is a good movie, you guys. You should watch it if
it's not.
We differ in opinions on that.
We do.
Yeah.
I guess you just have to find out for yourself.
Yeah.
We also have differing opinions on the menu.
Yeah, and those murders were really brutal.
Yeah. So, according to author Tom O'Neill in Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA and the Secret History of the 60s, Manson not only had people in his circle later connected to the CIA, but the way in which he ran his cult by doping his followers with a constant flow of LSD was oddly similar to the kinds of experiments carried out by MKUltra.
Oh, okay.
Weird. But maybe there were some positive MKUltra people. You want to hear about them real quick?
Oh, I would.
Now that my segment's 78 minutes long. So,
might need to get a beer after this. Whew.
I forget the man's full name, but Casey.
Anthony?
No.
I'm just joking. That
Someone
was
Casey, who was the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh.
he was exposed to LSD through MKUltra project. He signed up for it unknowingly as a student at Stanford University.
Oh, okay.
Whoopsies. And he didn't believe the project was sponsored by the CIA, and not till decades later did Casey discover the program's true intent.
Oh.
But of course, results. So it wasn't being done to try to cure insane people, which was what we thought. It was being done to try to make people insane, to weaken people, and to be able to put them under the control of interrogators. But of course, the resulting effect of LSD did not weaken Casey, and they actually became a tool of enlightenment for him. Mm-hmm. And he was one of the people that would go on to support the use of LSD, just like Timothy Leary and
good old Timothy
I didn't realize
Leary.
this either.
That guy was actually pretty much a genius. Pretty much a genius.
Robert Hunter, the lyricist and longtime collaborator of the Grateful Dead's Jerry Garcia, was exposed to this same testing.
Yes.
And was said to have introduced Jerry Garcia to the drug. And also was like one of the first people to be able to like get it. And also he was like the first of his friends to like ever use it. So he was like, it was like a party of one. I was the only one like fucking that knew what was going on because he was part of the fucking experiment. Jesus. And then also Ram Dass. I don't know if you know who that is.
Ram Dass? No.
Baba Ram Dass. His real name is not that.
Okay.
And I thought I wrote this. I didn't. Anyways. Timothy Leary and him were like Harvard professors, and they were
Timothy Leary went on to do like a bunch of experiments with LSD. It was very, very healthy, healthy, sure.
And he promoted it
and like was actually using it to facilitate the mind instead of damper the mind. Yeah,
exactly. Which they were like overdosing people and like not just using LSD for shit. They were doing
microdosing. They were trying to like, what was it? They were trying to help with
macrodosing.
But it was like, what was it? It was like they were trying to help with, not schizophrenia, but with no, it was something else that they were trying to help cure, and it was like showing actual results with LSD treatment. And I can't remember if it was depression. It was some mental illness.
Well, I know they do now, but like back then.
No, but back then his work was like groundbreaking because they were actually showing. Yeah. He was actually, because he was doing it like, and he was like, "Here was my findings."
Oh, PTSD and shit. Maybe I don't know.
It was PTSD, and I think there was something another ailment, but like he was pretty transparent. He wasn't like, we're gonna take some hookers and like, here you go, and just feed it like it's we're like
just goats. Gonna dose people at work.
Just put your hand out, and he's gonna lick it off your hand, and then you're gonna fuck him, and I'm gonna just critique it a 1 to 5. You better be good, or you go back to your pimp.
Yeah, that dude that would be like watching behind the mirror. He had some quote that I kept reading, and I thought I wrote it down. I'm sorry I didn't, but
it probably was
something
a treat.
About like. He was like, I was getting paid to like rape and fucking like do like.
Oh my god!
He was like, I was getting paid to do the devil's work, basically.
But you're like,
why would I say no?
And he was like, they were like, what were your findings? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah, literally.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah, they were paying me to do it, so I did it.
Jesus, what a time to be alive!
I know, fucking gross and weird, but you know, at least they don't do that anymore.
Wink.
Moving along, shall we?
Yes.
Oh, I thought of a new transition sound.
What is it?
It was only because someone posted it on a meme today. It was the Hannah Montana transition.
Oh, that's a good one. It's
a little late 30-ish for people.
That's late 30-ish.
It's like,
did you watch Hannah Montana?
Yeah, I did sometimes. I was too old. I was definitely too old.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I was in fucking college when that show came out. So.
You probably were getting stoned and stuff, so it probably was funny.
I would like go home and this like nothing would be on TV, so I'd fucking watch Hannah Montana. She was funny. Her little friend was funny. I was obsessed with Billy Ray Cyrus when I was like 2 years old, so I was like, I'll give him a chance.
I wasn't into that because I was watching it like when Ellie was little, because those were her shows, right? Because that was her age. But I was like, I wasn't a big fan of Hannah Montana, but Witches of Waverly Place, that was my shit. But let's be real. I've always loved Selena Gomez, so.
I know. Yeah. She's a real one.
She is. I think she's one of the better actresses that came out of there, so, but that's just me.
She's still
Have you watched Murders in the Building?
That's cute.
It's fucking adorable. Cute. I'm late to the game, but holy shit.
It's pretty good.
Adorbs. Anyway. All right. We're going to move on to history.
Move along?
Yep. Here we go. I'm going to get a beer.
All right.
I'm going to slow my roll and wet my whistle because this has made me parched. But it was good. But it's a bunch of floaties at the bottom. Maybe it's LSD. I don't know.
I toast you.
Yes. You have to press play. Oh, you already did.
Bitch.
You own it, girl.
Right ahead of you.
All right. I did another. Are you ready?
I don't know.
I did another list because it's my favorite thing to do.
Listy, history list.
So I think I did.
Mystery.
I think I did like a list of weird random facts. So this is like weird random facts part 2 or 3 or whatever many times I've done this.
Just keeping them coming.
To the point where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I haven't done some of these, but we'll find out. Anyway. First up, the Middle Ages. Ooh. Besides the short lifespan, the other thing I always figured it was like it smelled really fucking nasty. Oh, but probably. I would be incorrect, which is very weird to me, but whatever. Contrary to popular imagination, medieval people weren't smelly at all. In fact, medieval Europeans took bathing very seriously. Oh. They had whole bathhouses specifically designed to wash in, which of course we knew that. It wasn't always easy to keep clean in medieval times, but they viewed being clean with lots of importance. Later, people like Georgians and Tudors might not have been so hygienic, though. But still, I mean, I feel like the BO was probably like pales in comparison to the hipster coffee shops we see today.
Oh, yes.
Speaking of old-timey England, you might think people love tea today, but the lengths that they went to in Stuart and I don't know why I can never say that. It's Georgia. I can't look at it. Georgian. Jesus. Went into Stuart and Georgian Britain was a bit bonkers. Back then, tea was imported from China and therefore very expensive, and only the rich could afford it. It was so expensive, in fact, that special tea boxes were made with locks on them, so no one could steal your tea. It was always kept where the mistress of the house could see it. Ooh. Which is why tea making became such an occasion, which actually makes way more sense. You wouldn't trust your servants to make you a cup. Would you lock up your... I don't know why I put that in there. Erase that.
Would you lock up your goodies in your clown shoes?
Oh. Maybe. This is a good one, which I did not know at all. Neapolitan. I was thinking of the ice cream. Napoleon
ice cream. I might have to get some after this.
Right? If it's open, which it's not going to be because we started a little late.
Licks? What is it?
What is it? It's
Little Man?
It's the best. No. Little Man's
Old
okay.
Churn.
Old Churn's which is Little Man, right?
What
but
are you
like
saying is the best?
it's on your way home. It's not going to be open though. They close I think at 10.
The one by the fucking bowling alley?
Yeah, what it can't.
Is it good?
It's so fucking good, dude.
Is?
It is the best ice cream in town. What the fuck is it called?
It's better than salted Oreo.
Oh my god.
From what's it called?
What the hell is it called? I'm gonna think of it. Anyway, I can't remember what it is. I will
Blizzard Beach.
I will think of it because they should sponsor us, even though they're like they're a mom and pop shop. But instead of a salted Oreo, they have it's called the Pink Cadillac. It is strawberry ice cream with smashed up Oreos in it. It's so fucking good, dude. You have to go get it.
That sounds pretty fucking good.
Glacier ice cream. That's what it's called. So good.
Blizzard Beach, Glacier.
Mm-hmm. All their shit's good. Okay, so Napoleon wasn't a shorty. If you know one thing about Napoleon, you know that he was short, except he wasn't. He was actually 5'6", which was an average height for him. But it was an average size for men of their time. It wasn't like he was a midget and they acted like he was a fucking midget. So
maybe he was going up against some big dudes.
So he was probably made fun of his little, like, he was probably made fun of as little in propaganda, like pictures of, like, by his enemies, to make him seem less powerful. But he was no shorter than most men. He also liked, good Lord, I'm seeing double. He also liked to surround himself with very tall soldiers, which probably made him look a little smaller too. So history's trying to write itself.
Okay, Napoleon, did you come back from the grave and write this?
He was like, no.
I wasn't short.
100%.
I was small boned.
Maybe he was.
Okay, 5'6" for a dude is not.
But for me, I'm 5'2", so I'd be like, okay, but
You are?
I'm 5'2", yes.
I guess I am. I'm 5'6".
You're probably like 5'6".
I'm like 5'6".
So I guess to be fair, like in today's time, like yes, if I meet a 5'6" dude, I still probably think he's a little short. Like
yeah,
I get it.
I'm sorry if you're 5'6" out there. You're a short king.
Yes.
Just because you're short doesn't mean anything.
It don't mean jack shit.
You're just short.
It don't mean
just like some guys are tall.
It is all about how you carry yourself, sir. Mm-hmm. All about and ladies.
It's all about the motion.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. George Washington didn't have wooden teeth.
What a fucking liar.
Which, in all honesty, it would have been more pleasant if he did, because he did have false teeth, but they were made from ivory and other people's teeth, including, speaking of MKUltra and non-consent, sadly the teeth of enslaved people who couldn't consent.
Oh,
wah, wah.
Wow. I hope they haunted his mouth.
I hope they did too. Yeah, I really hope he got an abscess. I don't even know. I wonder how he died. I don't even know. What the fuck? Let's see. Harriet Tubman used to carry, speaking of poor slaves, Harriet Tubman used to carry chickens as a precaution. Harriet Tubman is best known today as a brave freedom fighter and who fought against slavery in the United States. As an undercover agent helping escape enslaved people, she was known to carry chickens with her because when she thought a slaver might be getting suspicious of her, she would release the chickens and then recapture them. The commotion was so distracting that the slave masters didn't notice who she was. She would also pretend to read a newspaper because enslaved people weren't supposed to be able to read, so she wasn't even suspected. Fucking clever little wench.
Wow, that's crazy. She has a newspaper open. She's
reading. We should move it along, sir. God.
Fucking
didn't have to put a mustache on or nothing.
Blowing. So sad and fucked. But hey, at least she was smarter than them, so
that's all that matters. She got away. Okay, so you could get a job in Victorian Britain as a poo collector. Which
collector?
I was like, that's not so bad,
like
right?
Like scooper.
Whatever, picking up horse shit. Because like in Victorian England, it was like whatever, right? One of the jobs open to poor Victorian children was helping the night soil.
Because, I mean, kids are fucking pooper scoopers now.
Right. Before they had proper plumbing, poo.
The night soil?
Yes. So it wasn't horse shit.
Different.
It was not
dog poop.
It wasn't dog and it wasn't horse shit. Before they had proper plumbing, poo would pile up on the up in a cesspit under your like privy until the night soil man arrived with his cart to take it away. It was called night soil partly because the task was done at night to be more discreet, and partly because the Victorians didn't like saying poo. Poo! Yeah, they didn't like saying poop. Oh my but yeah, so a little kid, you can go and pick up human feces.
Victorians were weird.
Well, yeah.
The Victorian era was a fucking weird time.
It was very, like, proper, right? Like, you...
When was the Victorian era? Like, 17?
That was, like, in the
1600s?
1600s. Yeah, I feel like. Because I feel like the Victorian era, they didn't. It was just proper, but, like, they just... Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
They were so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to make pictures with hair, and we're too grossed out by breastfeeding.
Also, sometimes when our children die, we're going to put them in the picture anyway.
And we're going to put them in the room.
That shit was fucking freaky. I hate that shit.
That is creepy. Mm-hmm. I saw something the other day that, like, the living room is called the living room because literally they used to have a room where they would put the dead people in your fucking house. So your living room was like where the living people would be or some fucking shit like that.
So where would the dead people be?
in the other room that was for the dead. The bathroom. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
The den.
The bedroom.
But they're just like, we'll just make a separate room instead of calling it the den. We're gonna just call it the living room. Ugh, gross. This is a cute one.
Weird times.
This is a cute one.
Okay.
All British tanks are equipped to make tea.
All British what?
All British tanks.
Tanks.
Yes.
I thought you said tins.
Tins, yes. It's not super history, but like it's a fun fact. All tanks in the British Army have tea making facilities.
It's not super history, but it's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact.
That is a slogan.
It is.
Sorry.
It started in World War II because British soldiers kept stopping for tea breaks and getting caught out by the Nazis. So the tanks were fitted with kettles.
God damn it! Do you want to get another Darjeeling?
Hitler's coming. It's like, but I had to get my Earl Grey.
Just a spot.
Just a spot. So the tanks were fitted with tea kettles to make sure that they could have their tea on the go. I told you this is a
What if they have coffee
list.
kettles nowadays?
They might. You never know. They might.
They just got straight up fucking whiskey.
Right? They're just like,
hallucinogenics.
fuck that. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Turkeys were worshipped. While the turkey is currently America's favorite part of the Thanksgiving meal, well, allegedly. I looked at sides,
like,
but whatever.
Do you remember what we were to you?
Yeah. But back in 300 BC, these big birds were heralded by the Mayan people as vessels of the gods and were honored as such, so much that they were domesticated to have roles and religious rites. They were symbols of power and prestige and can be found everywhere in Mayan, like hieroglyphs and archaeology.
That's dope.
Which is weird and amazing.
Turkeys are they're like dinosaurs.
They are dinosaurs. I mean, all birds are dinosaurs. Like chickens, like
I have a wild turkey feather, and it is my favorite feather.
Well,
it's really it looks like a hawk feather.
They're pretty glorious.
Like
I'm
like,
really
this is a
turkey. Like they're pretty magnificent
There's
creatures.
some cool little things going on in those little
They
gobbles.
Really fucking delicious too.
They can be.
Oh yeah, big old turkey leg at a medieval fair.
Give me one of those. We gotta go this year.
We should
I've
go.
never been.
You've never been?
And then I talked to that lady in Austin for like 30 minutes about medieval fairs and how she used to travel around with them. And then she used to go to the one in Larkspur all the time.
Yeah, that's where my I've told you this several times. My uncle and my cousin go and they dress up, and he has like this really fucking dope plague doctor. They call it home. Like they love the fucking Renaissance fair. Cool. And the one in Larkspur is pretty amazing. And the one up here, like where is that one? That's Larkspur or whatever.
Larkspur.
But there's another one in Texas. I can't remember where it is. I was getting my towns crossed, but I've never been to that one before. But it's really fun.
We gotta go.
Let's see. The owners of Titanic never said it was unsinkable, allegedly. The shipbuilders Harald and Wolff insist that the Titanic was never advertised as an unsinkable ship. They claim that the unsinkable myth was the result of people's interpretations of articles in the Irish News and the Shipbuilder magazine. They also claim the myth grew after the disaster. So they claim that they were like, we didn't say that. And they're like, pretty sure you did. They're like, we didn't say that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that
Karen.
They just fucked a lot of shit up with that one.
Oh, yeah. Hard.
I've heard it was planned.
I have heard that. I've heard that.
And then it was like because the Rockefellers or something were trying to get rid of someone or something. And
something like that. And like it was like over budget. I can't remember what it was, but I do remember like when I was like into it, like when I was a child. I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. Before it was cool. Before 97. Mm-hmm. But I do remember hearing it like it was I'm like, why the fuck would they plan? But again, we just talked about MKUltra too. Like, who's to say? Who's to fucking say?
Lots of weird people of power.
It's true. Okay. Next up,
weird fucking shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Leo DiCaprio.
Leo. Check. Cars weren't first made in the U.S. It was not Henry Ford's Model T in 1908. It was not the first one. No. The first car actually was created in the 19th century when European engineers Carl Benz
shit.
And Emil, I don't even know.
Emil.
Levasseur, I don't even know.
Sure.
Were working on automobile inventions. Benz patented the first automobile in 1886, so Mercedes got there first. The classic car.
Fuck you, Henry Ford.
Early cowboys didn't work.
Where was that?
That was
where's
probably
Benz?
That was European, so probably in Germany.
Is it Germany?
Yeah, Germany. Well, because
sorry guys, I don't know where Mercedes-Benz is from.
Well, Mercedes-Benz, I know.
I guess I could Google it.
I know I know that's a German car, but I don't know. I mean, but I feel like Carl Benz, like the way it's spelled Carl with a K, so I'm assuming it's German. It's a good assumption, I feel.
Good
job. Know. Early
those
cowboys.
German roots that you have.
All of the German roots that I have. 9. Early cowboys didn't wear cowboy hats.
Her 9 German roots.
Yeah, that's it. My 9. That's the only way.
9!
And the only reason why I knew the word 9 for no was because, like, that's what my neighbors used to tell their dogs. 9! I was like, Jesus Christ, it's so aggressive.
It gets the
although the language is a little aggressive. I kind of am intimidated by it. But I also am, like, so fascinated when people, like, speak it. I'm like... They're like they're like saying everything so aggressively, and they're like, "I love you," and you're like,
spitting
"Oh
on
my God,
them."
Yeah. Yeah. So they didn't wear cowboy hats. Early cowboys did not wear cowboy hats. Can you guess what they wore?
No,
I did not know this at all. So, those big Stetsons that everyone associates with cowboys, like John Wayne, Billy the Kid, or Wyatt Earp. Yeah, cowboys didn't wear those. In fact, the hat of the choice for 19th century cowboys was actually a bowler hat. So, the Stetsons were
cute.
The Stetsons we see today hit the market in 1865, just in time to replace sombreros and bowler hats during the booming cattle drive era.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably wore sombreros.
Yeah, and just again like the big just like the little bowler hats. And that was when it became the recognizable silhouette.
Like with barely with like no bill. Bowler hat? What the fuck's a bowler hat?
You know, like a bowler hat, like it looks like when you go and you see like Victorian era, where it was like an old like a guy in his like little suit, and not a top hat, but like it's round on the top, but it has like a tiny bill.
Yeah,
that's what they would wear. Yeah, yeah.
That's so dumb.
Isn't that fucking
hilarious?
Weird? Yeah,
to think about.
But I guess that's fair, right? Because like if you were a cowboy and you came out to the West and you were from Europe,
like, well, but this is the only thing I have.
I'll just put this hat on. It's fine. And somebody was like, let's just make it longer and more, I don't know, cooler looking.
Let's make it actually have a purpose in the hot heat to shade you from the sun.
Which makes sense because what movie was it? And I always wondered that. Like, they wore a bowler hat. It was like a Native American that wore a bowler hat. And I never put that together.
Dances with Wolves.
It might, like, I'm not even shitting you. It might have been.
I don't know.
Anyway,
remember.
Moving on. Sorry. Or it could have been 1886, whatever I was watching. Have you watched Yellowstone yet?
No.
God, you gotta watch it. Do you have Paramount?
No.
I might have to give you my passcode. I have endless people on it. It's so good. Like, I think you would like it. Some of the historical stuff I think you would really appreciate. Like, it's really sad, especially this one that I'm watching, which is 1923, 1930. I don't know. I think it's 1923. Anyway, they talk about like, kind of the plight of just like how they took. Kevin Costner's like very. I know he's not really associated with the project, but he usually is very good with like really putting in like Native Americans, like where they really came from. Like he really tries to pay homage to them, right? So this guy that wrote this one kind of, I think, either expanded on it or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, he really focused on it where they talk about how like all these Native Americans were ripped from their homes and they were put in these Christian schools and they were just beaten. And you're like, you kind of like forget like slavery is really horrible, but this was also equally horrible. And
there's a lot of horrible fucking shit.
And there just is not so much light
in the name of
like shown on this. And this is like their home. Like it's horrible what happened to African Americans, but nobody talks about what happened to these Native Americans. And I mean, yes, not to the extent what they're happening now, but like they still live on not plantations, reservations, and they don't get equal opportunity. They don't. I mean, they're getting killed left and right, like these indigenous women. Like it's interesting to kind of like I loved how he kind of really shined a light to that and didn't like erase that part of history. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Well, there's a new show
awful.
too about that, the Three Pines or something, and it's about like the schools, the schools that they would put the kids in, and them like. I think it's kind of the premise of the show, but yeah, it's like that shit's coming to life. It's coming to light finally.
To watch. It's painful. And I don't think it's exaggerated either.
Well, it's like, we didn't learn about that shit in, like...
Well, no, like, I just think that
we should learn the real fucking stories.
No, I'm all...
So that we don't perpetuate that shit. But, like, they just sugarcoat everything so that they can just, keep controlling us.
Of course, the history books are
and
whitewashed.
Keep us fucking dumbed down, keep LSDing our fucking tap water.
Yeah, I think that it should not be, like, people, like... shoved down like the critical race theory, like teaching that. I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Why would you want to? Oh, because you're fearful. That's why you don't want to have anybody listen to that. Anyway, sorry, getting off on that tangent. Sorry, it boils my blood. Yeah, it's upsetting,
and
it's very upsetting.
Yeah, it's just, and like,
there's no reason why it shouldn't be taught.
No, and also it's just like. If you don't, everything is just
it's pretty horrible if you like really like you're like
I just feel like everything's just like, in like the Peanuts or like in any cartoon when like there's a cat fight or it's like just a bunch of jumbling, like it's like a pile of dust.
Yeah,
it's like like I just feel like that's what everything is.
Kind of. You're not wrong, at least right now.
Anyway,
sorry.
That's just my drunken visual.
It's fine. Okay, we're gonna go on a different weird fact right now. Walt Disney, he isn't actually Mickey's real dad. Eat your heart out, Maury.
What?
He's not his real father.
Oh my God, you're not the father.
So while Walt Disney did have the idea of Mickey Mouse and also provided the voice, the imagery was created by animator Ub Iwerks.
Ooh, Ub.
I could be spelling his name or saying his name wrong. He came up with all of the iconic features. So it was between. Oh wait, sorry, that was just that one little fact. I just thought it was really funny and weird, and I didn't know about it, and I was like, I need to let the world know.
Well,
it wasn't Walt.
Fuck you, Walt.
Thief. Fucking
He's
racist
a couple
thief.
things.
But I'm gonna come and spend all my money at his park. So he's really happy.
That's how he gets you.
That's how he gets you.
Makes you think it's the most magical place on earth.
Yes.
But really, what's going inside those castles? Just kidding.
Sadness, but I will love it. Also, if you want anything from Walt Disney World, just let me know.
Okay. I'll give you some of my fave characters.
You should actually. I'll bring you something back.
Anything Baloo.
Oh, that's true. If I find a dog collar, I'm buying it. I'm buying something for your dog.
Oh my God.
I'm that kind of pet parent now. Okay, so between 1900 and 1920, tug of war was a legitimate event at the Summer Olympics.
I think I knew that.
Which, again,
is insane.
I keep saying this, but can you imagine? Like, I would 100% be more invested into watching the Olympic Summer Games if there was barbecue games. 100%. And like
fucking
you could play
sack races,
right? And like you'd be like, all right,
limbo.
It'd be amazing. Fucking
badminton
and croquet. Like fucking jumping off of trampolines and shit.
Lawn darts.
Oh, what is the one?
Flying through the air like a goddamn lawn dart.
It's fucking funny. I'm telling you.
I just like yell. I'm sure your sisters are like your sister and sister-in-law.
Oh, Crystal can sleep through the dead, and I don't feel bad. She sleeps in the living room because they're like, we like to sleep on this. They paid like $1,600 for it. Like, no, they didn't. They paid they paid half of it because my dad, that was like Rachel's Christmas present. So,
thanks, Dad.
Yeah. So I'm just so sometimes like in the morning, I'm just like, I don't feel bad. You have a room. Like I don't feel bad at all.
That's funny.
Anyway, so Edgar Allan Poe's 1838 novel. I thought this was kind of fucking freaky, which is on par for Edgar Allan Poe. The narrative of, so this is his novel, the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket tells a story of 4 crewmen on a whaling ship who end up stranded. In order to survive, the crewmen draw lots, which I guess is sticks. I don't know. Straws. I don't know why sticks. To see who among them should be eaten. The lot lands on, I don't know why I keep saying the lot. The stick or the whatever. The string. I don't know what it is. It lands on their cabin boy, Richard Parker. 46 years later, 4 crewmen aboard the yacht, I don't know what the yacht's called, aboard a yacht, capsized on their way to Sydney from London. 3 of the crewmen decided to eat and kill the youngest and weakest among them, their 19-year-old cabin boy, Richard Parker. I just thought that was weird.
Wait, that was 46 years later?
After Edgar Allan Poe wrote this. He wrote it in 1838, and then it happened.
They're probably freaky? There's like 4 of them together, and this happens. They're like, your name's Richard Pryor?
And you're like,
or what? Richard Pryor.
First, we have to set you on fire, and then we have to set you on fire, and then we're gonna barbecue.
This is just too much of a coincidence. I think we're gonna have to eat you.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine. He's like,
the stars are aligning for you.
Can you imagine?
That's so weird
that
and
would
gross.
Suck. First of all, how do you even? I guess you just murder him, but like, God. But how do you? Ugh. I don't know.
How do you do anything disgusting that people do to people these days?
I mean, that's fair. Humanity received these facts are all over the place, so sorry, guys. Humanity received the first extraterrestrial signal in 1977. While looking for signs of life on other planets, Jerry Eman received a 72-second long signal from outer space. The signal came from outside the solar system. Scientists dubbed it the, quote, wow signal, since Eman scribbled wow on the printed data after seeing it. However, no one has been able to explain the signal, nor was it ever received again. They're like, that was my bad. Sorry. Yeah, it was some fucking... Yeah.
It was a glitch.
It was a fucking prank call is probably what it was.
Someone extra testing out their radio.
Totally.
In Nebraska.
Let's see. A magician once fought a duel to prove a formula and lost his nose. For a mathematician, Tycho?
Wait, mathematician or magician?
Mathematician. To fought a duel to prove a formula, like a fucking math formula. And I did say magician, my bad. For a mathematician, Tycho, again, I'm so sorry, I think they are either Danish or what's going on here.
Something's going on.
Tycho Brie? I don't know. Sure lived. I don't know. Anyway, he was a mathematician in 1566. Okay, I had exactly. See, we're all about phonics today. In 1566, he lost part of his nose in a duel with Danish noble, Manderup Parseberg. Jesus Christ. We're going to call him Manny. The duel supposedly settled an argument about a formula, but the 20-year-old Taichu lost his nose in the process. From then on, he had to wear a metal prosthetic nose.
Hope it was worth it. Mathematician.
Right? He was like,
riddle me this.
Right? He's like 2 + 2. It's probably something like trying to prove the theory.
Pythagorean's theorem.
Right? Try to have here's the formula for how to fly or whatever.
Y equals mx plus b. Why can't you understand?
Also, why? Can you imagine having a metal prosthetic nose and you're in the why just make it wooden? I don't understand, but whatever. Because I feel like that'd be way more man in the iron mask than a wooden nose, but whatever.
At least it looks more like skin than silver metal.
That's what I'm saying, but whatever. Oh, this is awesome. It keeps going on. So,
your topic?
No, this fact. So Taichou, whatever. He also had a pet moose who died after falling downstairs due to drinking too much beer. Oh, and then then Tai Chu.
What in
Tai
the
Chow or whatever.
fucking Rocky and Bullwinkle is this?
And then Tai Chow, or again, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, to his ancestor that might be listening to this. He actually
Tap it on my shoulder.
He actually also died. He himself died from a ruptured bladder due to holding his pee at a party. So it's just a comedy of errors for this poor man.
Moral of the story, guys: go pee when you need to. We're 30ish now. We can't be holding that shit in.
Don't place bets that you know you can't win. Don't give your moose too much beer, I guess. I don't know why you have a pet moose, but whatever.
Also, don't.
And why is he upstairs? Anywhere? Why was this moose upstairs? And also, like, they couldn't even tame mooses to, like, mises, whatever the plurals for that, to, like, fight in an army. Like, why does this man have this rogue moose?
That's a very good question.
I'll move on.
Well, when you have a metal nose, anything can be possible for you.
Such a long episode.
I know.
I'm at 30 minutes.
70.
Oh, well.
I know. Mine was at like 58 minutes.
It's fine. It can be long. We've been pretty good about keeping our time on
we're trying
lock,
to
so
fucking...
It's fine. We can have a long episode every once in a while.
Guys, get some extra chores done, okay? Get your extra chores in.
Just drive around the block, all right? Jesse, sweep up. Okay.
Sweep up.
The Kentucky meat shower is still unexplained. Did you know what the Kentucky meat shower was?
No.
I didn't. Back in 1870.
What kind of statement is that?
Do you mean steak mint? Okay. Back in 1876, it rained meat in Kentucky. Citizens who dared taste the meat claimed it was probably lamb or deer. Terrifyingly, scientists initially believed it was the lung tissue of a horse or a human infant. Nowadays, the accepted explanation is that a flock of buzzards regurgitated the meat onto the unsuspecting city.
The whole city?
Yeah, apparently. And some fucking wacko was like,
ate it?
Free meat for days and just like ate it. And it's like...
It was probably all the reproductive organs that they had stole from the cows in the Midwest, and then they all dropped them.
And they were just like, what? Like, but also, Whipper. I love that they're like, it could be the lung tissue of a horse or a human infant. Who's to say? Because those are two wildly different things. Anyway.
That's free. And there's no explanation?
No, there still isn't. It's just believed that it was
another CIA cover-up.
Yep, totally.
They just don't tell you.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, all those fucking birds just fell out of the sky. Well, see you later.
It's fine.
Don't look here.
Don't even worry about it.
Just make your own conclusions. We're going to just go keep doing what we're doing.
Gross.
Anyway.
A man once escaped an avalanche using his own poop. In 1926, an avalanche-trapped Arctic explorer Peter Frontschman, while he was on expedition, creating a cave in the snow, he spent days underneath developing...
On Earth?
Yeah, on Earth. He spent days underneath developing frostbite. Eventually, he escaped by molding his own poop into a shiv that he used to pick and dig himself out. He also had to amputate his foot using...
Was it hardened?
Well, yeah, because it was frozen. So he molded it, and then he let it freeze, and then he used it as a little shivvy.
Fuck, dude.
He also had to
trying to stay alive.
Yep. He also had to amputate his leg or his foot using pliers and wire cutters, only with a poop block to bite down on. I don't really know if that's true.
Could you imagine,
dude? It's gonna
cutting your goddamn leg off with pliers and wire cutters.
I'm sorry. One of our segments is gonna have to be called "Can You Imagine?"
Literally,
yeah, it might have to be.
Can you imagine anything in this episode? It's so fucked up.
It's so weird,
but all of it's real.
It's true. Okay, last one. Here we are.
Don't have to imagine it. Just gotta read about it.
Gotta read about it
in the archives.
Roman Catholics in Bavaria created a secret society in 1740. The Catholics named the secret society the Order of the Pug.
Oh, I did hear about this.
It was especially weird since its new members had to wear dog collars and scratch the door for an initiation. As an initiation. So now they just call that category just meetups today.
Why?
It's just a category of meetups now.
Furry?
You can do that now. It's just furry play stuff. The end. I'm done now. I can be done.
Just shove that Shay just shoved her laptop in a literal laundry basket filled with rollerblades.
If that isn't a 90s statement, I don't know what is. Or 30.
I don't have my phone died. I can't take a picture. You got to take a picture of that. Oh my God, that is ridiculous.
If that isn't a 30-ish basket, I don't know what is. Right? Wait.
Next to your high moon seltzer.
Next to my light bright. There.
Oh my God.
There we go. That's what.
Perfect.
That's a 30-ish fucking house right there.
That's
anyway.
That is us.
Here we are. You guys, you made it. You
guys, you ventured through the abyss.
You went through it all with us.
We made it out the other side.
Barely.
Did you guys grab your waters? I don't know. What? Did you guys survive? We did. And we're here now to tell you thank you.
And we love you. Thank you for sticking with us with that.
Thanks for, plowing through that one with us.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. It's a long one.
But it was informative.
Hopefully you guys, it was
there
very...
were drugs. There was undercover operations. There was a lot of poop in mine. Sorry.
Yeah, there was lots of poop.
Sorry
there were
about
pugs.
that. There's pugs at the very end. I thought it was like a nice little palate cleanser that everyone was like, hey, if you are into furry dress up, it's okay. It's been happening since like the 1800s.
Just come on over to my house and scratch at the door before you come in. And you're welcome. Well, thanks for hanging. Yeah. And if you don't already, follow us on Instagram.
Do it.
Rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform.
And we for real have some stuff coming down the pike, so
look out for
exciting.
It is exciting.
Maybe like get a little new fresh face the brand.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
It is gonna be good.
New year, new us.
Actually do a couple things in person with you guys.
Yeah. That's our goal this year.
Excuse me for sure.
It's fine. All right. You want to hand me that die over there?
It's time to roll the dice. Yes. If you didn't know, now you do. We roll the dice every episode so that we know what topic we're gonna fucking talk about on the next episode.
And then
because we don't like to choose shit.
No.
I have to choose shit all fucking day long as an adult.
Yeah.
I want to roll the dice because you know what they say? The die never lie.
Oh my God, yes.
The die
Guys,
never lie.
It's gonna be
That's our new slogan, okay? The die never lie.
I got a free roll. What's it gonna be?
Number 5 roll.
We all know.
I thought you were gonna be like, I got a free roll. What's it gonna be? Roll.
That would be great. And I
did I tell you I made up a song, a rap, kind of a verse? I made up a verse.
What is it?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I did it, and it was about being 30-ish.
I love it. 2. It's crime again.
Oh my! Well, I guess I got to talk about Bear. And then we're never gonna get on the airwaves because they'll just flag me. But that's the kind of crime I want to talk about. I want to talk about.
In all honesty, I think your brother appreciates that because he's over my murdery shit, and it's probably gonna be a double dose of crime next week. So buckle up.
Let's be honest.
Yes, let's be honest.
Wait, number 5, you rolled
free roll.
So
it's crime.
We're always honest.
We all know.
We all should own up to.
We all know.
Shabba-dabba-doo.
I mean, Drake knows, so.
Yabba-dabba-da. It's the motherfucking be-yabba-dabba-dee. Wait.
What?
I just made up a song. La-da-da-da-da. It's the motherfucking B-R-I-E. And Shay, motherfucker!
Jesus Christ, that's amazing.
La-da-da-da-da. It's 30-ish with fucking Brie. I don't know. I'll work on that. Okay, it's been 78 minutes. The thing is blinking at me. We gotta go.
We have to go.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.